success. Obviously, could have done much better than tonight. Did you get a sense that this team was locked in the right way after finally being ranked after the Creighton win?
I think we have a very mature group, but also we try and remember, tell everybody, we can't be satisfied now. Like, we're ranked, yeah, but doesn't mean anything. We just got to go play our best game the next game. I think we made some very good steps against Creighton. Our defense was really good, and we carried that over into this game, and that's got to be a constant this whole season. But I think we have a very mature group, and I liked our talk even after this game in the locker room. Like, hey, we're supposed to defend home court. That's like Big Ten. You have a huge advantage at home, and now we got to go on the road and get a tough one. But I liked our talk after the game, and I think we got a very mature group for sure.
Just the level of activity you were playing with, what do you think the key to that was? How do you think you tapped into that?
Like, it is our normal defense, actually, that we needed to do every game. So it was not maybe a little bit extra effort, but it is our normal defense to be aggressive like that. So it was just like a normal defensive thing for us.
What about you personally, just with your cutting on offense and kind of looking for your shot?
I was not shooting well, and I was more like a cutter and to like the traditional 5-man kind of play. So I just improved my game in that point, and when I make like 2 threes, and when the rink is like always scoring, and when they double teamed it, I start cutting, and my teammates find me wide open, and finally I made 2. So
A game where pretty much everyone that stepped on the floor made an impact. How much has this team embraced role identity and being a star in your role, and kind of everybody making the most of their opportunities when they come?
It's very important to know your role and to also carry the momentum off the bench once your number's called. Just doing everything to the best of your ability, being the best teammate, being the best overall player for the team, and just to continue impacting the game.
Right, going off of that, how much do you see Burke just maybe becoming a fan favorite in that way? Just the fans seeing him playing his role and obviously playing to the crowd a little bit too as well. It seemed like it reached like a high point with all that tonight.
I mean, I love seeing it. He always brings so much energy. He definitely brings the energy for our group. I know our guys feed off of his positivity, and I love for him that the crowd's embracing him and his physicality and his hustle. But I will have to say that, hey, your highs are very high right now, but we got to go on the road, and you got to stay mentally locked in on the road as well.
Yeah, that is my little bit problem right now. Like, everything going fine right now. So my highs is just like 1 to 10, like 12, maybe 15. So I need to put that into 5, maybe 6.
No, you
can
do it. You can do it on the road.
Yeah.
If, you can
on the road, yeah.
You can do it at home. You can get your highs really high.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll talk about it later.
The comment that you had earlier, you said that after the game you guys felt like you were supposed to do this, like you're supposed to defend home court. You guys expected to beat Creighton. What's the level of confidence with this group right now? How good do you believe you guys are?
Yeah, we have a solid group. We have a mature group, and I don't want to think too much about how good we are or how good we aren't. We just take it one game at a time, and we played a really good game today, but that doesn't guarantee anything going into the future, so we got to stay locked in.
Jared, this is the first time we've talked to you. How has your adjustment been coming into this program and working through an injury and just acclimating yourself, and how much further along do you think you are now from the beginning of the season?
Well, just for me, I just stay positive throughout everything, and just continuing to be the best teammate that I can be, but also just getting more reps in practice and in games, just so I could be more comfortable with these guys, and just continuing to win.
You mentioned the shooting struggles. Did it feel like a weight came off of you once you saw that first 3 go down?
To be honest, yeah. Like, I knew that I was going in. 100%, and it just felt right. The second one, it just felt right too. So it just right now I feel like I don't know how to explain this, but I'm just 2 for 2. I'm just gonna continue I hope to continue like that. You'll see.
On that note, your head coach talked about yesterday how he was one of the NBA players who started off the season with not making a lot of shots in a row, and he's able to instill some thought into you because he can talk about his experience. So what's it like having a coach who's saying, hey, maybe you're not playing your best right now shooting, but keep doing it, and good things will happen?
Oh yeah, we talked about yesterday. It was kind of. It was how do you say learning process with him. Like I didn't know he was like that, and he is one of the best shooters in the NBA, and it was kind of good to good for me to learn it from him. Like we shooting almost every day. After practices, he give his thought on my shots, and I'm trying to listen to him, but sometimes it's not happening. But a little bit. So it just I learned that I need to listen to him more. So yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Coach.
Coach, from the game where you guys did pretty much everything right, what are you most proud of about this effort?
Yeah, I thought our defense was really good after the first 5 minutes. I thought we weren't very sharp early. And all the things we'd worked on the last 3 days were not, we're not showing up on the court. And then we started getting active. We had 0 deflections in the first 8 minutes of that game. And then once we got our hands activity going, that got us out in the break. That's what fuels everything with our team. And, the energy in the building was off the charts. The last 2 games, when you look at Creighton and this game tonight against Wisconsin, that's exactly what we need out of our crowd. And our guys they feed off that energy. That BK was unbelievable. The way that he went out there, that block when he cut his mouth was really impressive. And it was great to see him knocking down those shots. And it started with his free throws. I think he made his first 4 free throws and then was able to knock down that corner 3. And I thought our guys' movement on the offensive end, it was really Jamarcus that had great pace. And, once we did have to settle down, we didn't call a lot of plays in the first half. It was just out of flow. And, we talked about playing to the next action. Wisconsin's really good at warring and fighting over screens and chasing. And if it wasn't there, I thought we did a really good job getting to the next action. And the biggest thing I look at against a Wisconsin team, we outscored them 44-24 in the paint. That's hard to do against a Wisconsin team, but I thought our guys really did a good job of executing and attacking the paint when the shots weren't there.
When BK's playing the way he is, how much does that set the tone for everyone with getting deflections and diving for loose balls and just establishing?
Listen, Burke's been playing like that on defense. It's just, tonight he had 14 points. I mean, he goes out and does little things every game that don't show up in the box score. And tonight he goes out and has a couple blocks, but the thing about it, he made shots. And what was he? 4 for 5? Hell, I can't see. So he goes out there and just did a little bit of everything for our team. 14 points, and I think it would have been a lot higher had he not cut his mouth open. I'm proud of Jared. I thought the way Jared played tonight, that gave us the opportunity to sit Rink a pretty extended time, and he's been playing a lot of minutes for us. And for Rink to only play 25 games in a very important league game in a win, I think shows that we do have the depth on this team. And you can see Jared get more comfortable every time he's out there. It was good to see Kendall knock down that shot there in the second half. Should give him some confidence. But those guys are exactly right. We now have to go into our probably first fully hostile environment, and we'll see what we're made of. We did exactly what we were supposed to do. We took care of home court against 2 really good teams on Sunday and tonight, and now we got to bounce back and have a great effort if we want any chance at all to go in there and compete against the top 15 Illinois team that's got unbelievable length and physicality and shot making. So, we'll put this behind us. We'll get to work on Illinois. You know, our assistants have been doing it for the last couple days, but, you know, I'll dig in tonight and we'll put a game plan in tomorrow and hopefully go out and execute it on Saturday. This is a tough schedule. They give us a tough-ass schedule here. You know, you play Creighton Sunday, now you bounce back, play a short prep against Wisconsin, and they, you know, the consolation prize at the end of the week is you get Illinois on a 2-day prep. So, you know, I believe in these guys. I believe in our group. We have experience. We have age. And, you know, they're battle-tested. And right now we're playing with – I love the swagger we played with tonight. You know, what's that mean Saturday? I don't know. But, you know, I like how we're playing. I like the maturity of this group. And, you know, we'll see what happens on Saturday.
That swagger was on display was, you know, when Burke cut his mouth open. He's, you know, engaging with the student section. Just what was your vantage point of that moment?
Yeah, I was wondering if he cut his tongue and, you know, then he couldn't talk, which sometimes might be a good thing for some of us. But no, the play was unbelievable. I mean, he came out of nowhere to block that shot and then walking off, you know, blood pouring out of his mouth and, you know, interacting with the fans and pumping them up. It was a big-time play by Burke. That was a joke, Amy, on Burke. But, you know, he's you have no idea. You asked if it was relief. I promise you, as a guy that shot the ball, to see a couple go in when you haven't been shooting well, it is a huge relief and a confidence builder. And his percentage went, you know, you go 2 for 2 after what your percentage is, it skyrockets. And, you know, he's right. We've been working a lot on his shot. You know, mentally, we've got, you know, people in our sports psych department that have been helping him as well, and you know, it's good to see that hard work pay off for BK.
What's been the difference with him last year to this year, just on the non-steal turnovers and the kind of loose plays? What's changed
with Burke? You know, I just think he's playing with confidence. Even when his shot wasn't falling, he was still having a huge impact for our team. And you know, the game I'll point to is Creighton. He doesn't shoot the ball well, but he has 13 rebounds. And played a really good floor game and made good passes and good decisions. So I think comfortability within the system, you know, coming into his second year now, health, his body. He really did a great job on his body in the offseason. I do think he's in better shape right now. And, you know, we're going to, you know, keep going. This, again, if as soon as you get satisfied, this thing's going to be over. And our guys are going to keep that hunger. That's what they were taught after they sang "Happy Birthday" to Jamarcus. They, you know, they all started talking about what we have to do to put this one behind us.
You talk about Blackwell being one of the top players in the Big Ten. He's averaging 21 a game, holding to 7 points. What made your defense so effective against him?
Well, those guards are so dynamic, and you know, this Wisconsin team is playing really fast this year. And Boyd gets over 6 points per game in transition, and you know, averaging over 20. Those two guys combined average 40. Sam had the assignment early. Thought he did a really good job being there on catch. We were doing some switching as well. And, you know, I thought our closeouts were exactly what they needed to be on a guy that has that type of talent and a guy that shoots 43% from the three-point line. So, you know, just attention to detail. Again, with a short prep, I thought Creighton going in, I felt fairly confident we'd execute the game plan because we had a week. This one, you had 2 days. And Wisconsin, they run their continuity offense, and they run so many wrinkles. It's a hard thing to prepare for. So I thought our guys locked in and went out and executed.
You were in the room for that exchange with Frank and Burke just about the consistencies of his highs and on the court and everything. Just what's your take on that, and just how to get that to travel into road games and just be more consistent and all that?
Yeah, I mean, we've been pretty consistent this year, I would say, with everything we've been going through, and we've handled adversity well when it's hit us, and it's going to smack us in the face on Saturday, I promise. Probably in the first couple minutes of that game. That's one of the great environments in our league, with the Orange Crush that are sitting right behind the bench, and you know the things that they'll be saying to our guys. So you can't pay attention to it. You can't fall into it. You have to we'll pump in the crowd noise into our practice the next couple days, and make sure we're on point with our hand signals, and we're going to have to be adversity is a big thing in this league. We're going to have to handle it well, and if you do that, you have a chance. If you don't, you're going to get embarrassed.
What about with Burke specifically?
Say again.
What about with just Burke specifically? His highs on the court, just.
Yeah, we've talked about this, keeping his emotions in check. I talked to Braden about it as well. Braden hit that three the other day against Creighton. He thought we won the NCAA championship, with the way he came over and chest bumped the whole team. And then he had a little bit of a low. And, you got to stay even. You can't get too high, you can't get too low, not just for Burke and Braden, but that's our whole team. And, you know, when we stay even, again, I think we're a pretty darn good team.
About how you and your guys handled maybe the angry crowd, and it was kind of back and forth, and maybe didn't get some of the calls as opposed to maybe the excited crowd later in the first half. Not
How do we handle it, did you say?
Yeah, what's your feedback?
Yeah, you know, I talked about that in the huddle. I was kind of losing my mind, and my hair was on fire, and I told the guys, you got to play with composure, you know, and I'm over there losing my mind. So, you know, it started with me, and that's when I said, you know, I got to be more composed. And then, you know, just I thought our guys went out there after that and did a solid job of it. I mean, that's a great crew that we had, you know, one of the best that you're going to have all year. So, you know, once we calmed down, I thought we were pretty good.
Changed defensively after those first 4 or 5 minutes?
Just hand activity, Wilson. When we get deflections, that's when we're at our best. And, you know, listen, we have to have that. We watched a lot of clips from last year. They torched us, making 17 threes, and our ball pressure and our hand activity was brutal in that game in Madison. And tonight, that's what we talked about going in. You know, you may have a breakdown, but if you have activity with your hands, you know, you can save the day. And I thought we had numerous possessions of that tonight.
In this part, we'll talk. If you get any other questions on Illinois, we'll go down.
We've talked about Illinois.
Okay.
Right? Any more?
Illinois, what do you know about?
I'll know a lot more about them after tonight. I know they're really good. I know they're really talented. I know they shoot the heck out of the ball. I know they got great size, and I know they're tenacious on the glass. And they got stars. They got great role players. You know, Brad's one of the best in the business. So, you know, we're got our hands full on Saturday. And again, this is our first opportunity on the road, and you know, we'll find out a lot about ourselves.
You know, keeping a level head and handling success well. How much of that goes back to 2 years ago Purdue? Because you've mentioned that specifically, like Sam and Rink have mentioned that before. How much does it come back, just the memories of that, when you think about staying level and handling success?
Well, yeah, and you always learn from your past experiences, and we didn't do that. You beat the number one team in the country, and then you go and lay an egg the next time you get the opportunity to step back on the floor. So, you know, our guys have done a good job putting, you know, listen, I talked about this in the pregame today. We were both coming off big wins over our rivals. Wisconsin beats Marquette. You know, we knock off Creighton, and who's going to respond better? Who's going to handle it better? And, you know, again, I thought our crowd was unbelievable. They gave us the energy. We're not going to have that on Saturday. So, you know, as far as what we need to do to move past it, I've been impressed with this group, the way they've done it. And, you know, we're going to have to do it again, or we're going to get our butts kicked on Saturday. Thanks, guys.